Good morning, friends. Welcome to GoOnlineTrainings.com. So, today we're going to be understanding Azure Data Engineering Part 2 demo. And yesterday I spoken about why cloud is very, very important and what is Azure. Very, very fundamentals and basic things about Azure and cloud I have spoken about in yesterday's class. And today, let us understand what is ADF and what is ADB, Azure Databricks, and let us understand what is ETL, what is ELT, and lot of other things also we will be able to understand today. So where exactly we're going to be using Azure Data Factory and where exactly we're going to be using Azure or Databricks, all these things we're going to discuss today. People who missed yesterday's demo, please watch the demo in my YouTube channel. You can go to YouTube and search for Bhaskar Jogi, right? You will be able to get all the demo recorded videos are available, right? So people who missed, to fill the form yesterday or people who are new, please fill the form. Already this form I have given in the chat window. You need to enter your email address, full name, location, mobile number. So when you fill the form, you will be able to get a fee discount. That is one thing. Second thing is that daily recorded videos are going to be posted to this email address. So these are the two, things. So even though you miss one class, you should not be worried about it. Daily recorded videos are going to be shared within 1 hour of the class so that you will be able to go through those lectures. And the validity for the videos are 6 months. Okay. So that is what I told you. If you wanted to become a data engineer, so you need to learn Azure Data Factory 30 hours and it will be live classes. And if you wanted to go further and Azure Databricks also included in this, and this is also live classes for 30 hours. Minimum 2 months it is required. But if you learn only Azure Data Factory, Azure Databricks, that is not sufficient. You should also know the prerequisite for the Azure Data Engineering is for the data bricks. If you wanted to learn data factory, you need to know SQL. Remember, so if you wanted to know only data factory, you have to know SQL very well. But if you wanted to learn Azure Databricks, you have to know SQL and you have to know Python as well. Clear? So both of them are important. So this 60 hours plus you need to add 1 or 2 months extra for you to learn these courses, right? So data engineering will be not 60 hours. You need to learn SQL and you need to learn Python as well. And remember, SQL is very, very important. More than 60 to 70% of the interview questions are going to be asked in the SQL. If you don't know SQL, you cannot work with the data factory or you cannot work with the Azure Databricks as well. SQL is the backbone for for your data engineering. Remember that. Let us understand what all you need to learn if you wanted to become a data engineer. Yesterday I have explained clearly, but let me explain once again. So you will be called as a data engineer or Azure data engineer or a cloud data engineer or a big data engineer. All of them are the synonyms. So these are the things that you're going to be learning. So SQL is a must. And we don't have the live classes as of now. You will be able to get recorded videos. So you need to pay for it. And Python is also, we don't have the live classes. You will be able to get recorded videos. These are available in Telugu and English languages. You will be able to choose whatever you wanted to have it. Then Azure Data Factory live classes are going to be starting after the demos. And after that, you need to learn Azure Databricks for 30 years. These are also live classes. And these two also you can learn, but these we are giving for free. You know, we are giving for free. So if you don't know SQL, compulsorily you need to learn SQL. Without SQL, you cannot do anything in the as a data engineer. So SQL is the backbone for everything. And SQL and little bit of basic Python is important, right? If you wanted to become a data engineer, minimum 3 to 6 months time it will take, right? Minimum 3 to 6 months time it will take. All these things you need to know one by one. So what I strongly recommend is that you daily attend Azure Data Factory live classes and you also take SQL videos and watch one video daily, you also attend Azure Data Factory live 1 month, because Azure Data Factory, where no coding is needed, completely drag and drop. So in the SQL, you have little bit of coding. At least you can say 20% of the coding is going to be there. So any BCom MBA guys or mechanical guys, any non-IT people can easily understand SQL. So parallel, you need to start SQL and data, Azure Data Factory first month. Second month, what you do, you learn parallel, Python and Azure Databricks also parallel. That is the second month. 1 hour live class you attend, and 1 hour, you need to prepare the videos, take the videos in practice. So 2 months it will get over. And the third month, you will have to prepare Azure Synapses and Azure Data Warehouse and project which I'm going to be giving it to you for free, that you need to practice in the third month. Fourth month onwards, if you wanted to practice anything else from the YouTube, you can practice, and you can apply or you can prepare a CV, apply for the jobs. Without project, you will not be able to crack any interview. So it will take a lot of time to prepare for the project as well. So first of all, you need to concentrate on the learning, the concepts and everything, theory. Once it is done, you will be able to, practice the assignments and the project work, whatever we are offering as part of this course. Clear? So no coding in the Azure Data Factory, but Databricks is completely coding. So without coding, you cannot learn Databricks, and you need to know at least the basics of Python as well. This is also bit of coding, but not complex coding. Not complex coding. When you know SQL, Data Factory, Databricks will not be complex for you. But if you don't know SQL very well, it will become very, very complicated. Yeah, am I clear? So we are going to be offering Azure Synopsys videos and data warehousing. So these videos not from me, from one more trainer. So even Python videos are not from me. This is from one more trainer. SQL from me, Data Factory from me, and Data Bricks also from me, and data warehousing concepts also from me. And Synapses and Python I'm not teaching. So one more faculty is going to be teaching. So those videos are going to be given if you wanted to buy those videos means. So this is what is the data engineering roadmap for next 3 to 6 months. We are going to be starting from very, very basic level to advanced level of data engineering. Now, if you wanted to become a data analyst, so what are the things you need to learn? So you will be called as a data analysis guy or data analytics guy or a Power BI developer, BA developer, data analyst, business analyst, report developer. All these are synonyms for the data analytics. So SQL is mandatory, but dose is more. Here, we are only concentrating on the basic for 30 hours, but here you need to extra learn in this. So 45 hours of SQL we are going to be providing, and the Power BI is going to be included for 45 hours live classes. Azure Data Factory or SSIS ETL tool is the common here and there. Azure Data Factory is here. So Azure Data Factory or SSIS. What is SSIS? We will be able to learn. These are ETL tools. This is included. And SSAS is one more tool, 5 hours, it will be free. And data warehousing also you need to learn. So if you wanted to become a data analytics, so the new batch is going to be starting from the August 1st. 1st August, morning 8 o'clock, it is going to be there, IST, Indian Standard Timing. Every month, first, we're going to be starting data analytics. So in that, we are going to be giving you SQL recorded videos to learn. So Telugu and English videos are available. Power BI live classes. If you don't have time, you can also buy the videos and practice them. And Azure Data Factory, anyhow, whenever it starts, you can attend, or you can also take SSIS videos and practice if you wanted to go for on-premises ETL. So it is a cloud-based ETL. SSAS, so this will be given. So this is also minimum 3 months course, and minimum 3 to 6 months you will be able to have it if you wanted to become a data analyst. So data analyst, where you have less coding when you compare with the data engineering. Both of them will give you much more opportunities. My people, with the 3 years, 3.6 years of experience, minimum 10 lakhs package, maximum 30 lakhs package, they got it as a data analyst, as a data engineer. Okay, in India itself, minimum 3 to 4 years of experience, you will be able to get a minimum 10 lakhs to 15, 20 lakhs or 30 lakhs is the highest package. Akshay from Pune got it, and Harshvardhan from Hyderabad got it 35 lakhs salary package. Lot of non-IT people, BCom, MBA guys. One guy last month, not last month, this month only, he was working for ICICI Bank for 10 years as a executive in ICICI Bank. That guy got 19.2 lakh salary package this month only. Right? I can show you those offer letters if you wanted to see it. So people are able to crack a lot of opportunities as a data analytics or a data engineering. So common things are what? Power SQL is common, data, factory is common, data warehousing common. If you learn Power BI and SSAS, you will become a data analyst. Or if you wanted to become a data engineer, SQL, Python will be extra added and Databricks will be extra added. Synapses also you can just ignore or if you can learn, right? So you can choose whatever you wanted to have it, right? Every month first, data analytics is going to be starting every month, end of the month, 25th, 26th, that time, every month data engineering is going to be starting. So data engineering will be morning 9:30 and the data analytics will be, Power BI will be taught in the data analytics. It will be 1st of August morning 8 o'clock. You can choose whatever you wanted to have it. Chalo. Now, if you wanted to talk to me directly, this is my direct number. So for the lab oriented questions, or if you wanted to, connect me with one to one for the doubts clarifications or any career guidance if you need it. So this is my direct number. You can call me directly or you can ping me directly so that I will be able to help you with this. Okay. Any kind of a support till you get the placement. Clear, guys? So, yesterday I was talking about what is on premises and what is cloud and what is Azure. So, today let us talk about what is ADF exactly, what is Azure Databricks exactly, and what are the different cloud technologies we have. Let us also understand what is the data engineering, what is the data analytics, and what is the data science, AI and ML. All these things we need to understand and discuss today. So let me just go and let me just brief you. So what is on premises? I have taken one in a car example. I was talking about what is on premises, and after that, I was explaining about what is a cloud. So I have given you a lot of explanation. What is the advantage of the cloud? It is 24 by 7 availability, cheaper, and when you compare with the on-premises things, and no risk, and you can easily scalable. You can scale means you can increase the number of servers or you can decrease the number of servers. So highly scalable architecture. So that is what we have spoken about it. In cloud, we have Amazon company started AWS in 2003, but the final version released in 2006, and after that, lot of versions got released. So 31% of the people are using, Amazon AWS. This is the number one in the world. Microsoft company launched a brand called Azure. So it is launched in 2010. Rental hardware software shops, cloud means. That's what I told you. At least 29% of the people are using globally Azure framework as well. So if you wanted to connect with this framework, you have to create one login ID. So using www.portal.azure.com. Azure is not a single application. Azure is going to be having 200 application, and in that one of the application is ADF, Azure Data Factory. One more application is called ADB, Azure Databricks. Like that, AI applications, BI applications, data analytics applications, IoT applications, web applications, lot of applications. So portal.azure or Azure is not a single software. It is going to be having 200 plus apps are going to be there. So yesterday I have given you one simple example, right? When you go to Apollo Hospital, it is not going to be treating for a single disease. There are a lot of departments are available, right? Cancer department, cardiology, pulmonology, right? Eyesight, dental. So a lot of things you can get it in Apollo Hospital like that. When you go to Azure, you will be able to perform not only data factory, not only data bricks, lot of other applications also available. You can develop AI applications. You can develop, big data applications. You can work with the sensor data, that is IoT, Internet of Things, or you can perform pure Python applications. So whatever you wanted to do it, everything is available in Azure portal. Azure is going to be called as a rental platform. You can get the hardware and software for the rental, so that you need not install any software locally. You need to have a laptop, but you need not install anything. Simply go and create one account in the Azure portal or in the AWS portal, so that you will be able to use one of the softwares. Right? On premises means you need to install it. Clear? So, for example, MS Office on premises means I need to install the software in my local computer. If you wanted to use ADF or ADB, no need of software installation, no need of buying a software at all. Simply, you have to create an account in Azure portal.azure.com. I'll show you how to create an account. But create an account, you need to have the credit card. That's what I told you. So 30 days it will be free. Next month onwards, you will be charged based on your usage. So all these things I'll be talking about later. But today, let us continue further. Right. So demo number two, let me speak about today. Uh, what is the data and what is the size of the data? Let us focus on, right? So when you have small size of data, for example, my company every month is going to be getting thousand inquiries maximum. So I'm going to be storing all the data in Excel. So Excel is my data storing software, or you can also use a notebook. You can store your data. So you can use pen and paper. All the data you can write in the pen and paper. So that is not efficient, right? Minimum at least Excel sheets people are going to be using it. Okay, after storing the data, we also do some kind of a processing and we create a lot of reports. Clear? So how many people have joined this month? How many people have inquired for Java course? How many people have inquired for data engineering course? All the data we are going to be having every month. I'm going to be getting very little amount of data. So this is about my company. We store the data, we create a beautiful reports and everything. We are going to be analyzing and we are going to be using that. But if the data is not in MBs, if the data is in, let us say, every month you're going to be getting gigabytes of data. That means every month you're going to be getting lakhs of rows, or you can say simply millions of rows. 1 million is equivalent to 10 lakhs. 1 million is equivalent to 10 lakhs. So every month you're getting this much of a data. Can I store this much of a data in Excel? Answer is no. You have to use one more software. IT industry is going to be using a software called SQL. It is also called as database management system. Is also called as RDBMS tools or softwares. So when you have a large amount of data, you are going to be storing all the data into a SQL. SQL stands for structured query language, or it is, you can think as a big godown or a big storeroom where you can store large amount of data. SQL is called as a database management system or RDBMS. So how do you process this data? Process means I wanted to perform what is the total sales or what is the total amount. For example, I have data 10 and 20 is there. If I wanted to store this data, I can store it in Excel. Right? This is what is called storing. But I wanted to know what is the total, means sum. Sum will be 30. Who's going to be doing? Excel can do that. But here you can store the data here. If you wanted to process what is the sum 30, what is the average? Average is 15, right? Or 25, whatever it is. So 30, 15 is the average. And what is the minimum? The minimum is 10. What is the maximum? Is 20. what is the count, how many values are there, 1 and 2. So if you wanted to do all these operation, this is what is called a processing. Clear? So on the data, IT industry is going to be doing only two things. IT industry is going to be storing the data. IT industry is going to be processing the data. Only these two things. When you have a small amount of data, IT industry is going to be storing the data in Excel. When you have a GBs of data, for example, Amazon is getting every month of 500 GB of data. That means millions of transactions are happening in Amazon.com, or millions of cash withdrawals are happening in the State Bank of India, or cash deposits are going to be happening, or a funds transfer going to be happening. So all the Amazon data, State Bank of India data, or any company data is going to be stored maximum in SQL only. Clear? So when you store the data, that is not sufficient. You have to process the data. For the processing purpose, we are going to be using a language. Clear? So what are the SQL tools we have? So the popular SQL tool is called Oracle, right? The second SQL tool is called Microsoft SQL Server. The third SQL tool is called IBM DB2. This is IBM company, right? And the fourth SQL software is called Netezza, right? So this is also from the IBM company software. So like that, we have lot many SQL tools are available. Oracle, SQL Server, DB2, Netezza, PostgreSQL, Sybase, MySQL, Teradata. Thousands of tools are available in the IT industry. So when you learn Oracle or SQL Server from Microsoft, or DB2 or Netezza or Postgres, it means you know SQL. So what is SQL? SQL means a bigger tank where you can store large amount of data. I wanted to store a lot of blood. So there is a blood bank. I wanted to store a lot of gold. There is a gold bank. I need to store large amount of data. There is a data bank. The data bank is called database. Clear? So database management system, or it is also called as SQL. When you have a GBs of data, IT industry is going to be using one of these softwares. It may be using Oracle software. It may be using SQL Server software. It may be using a DB2, Netezza, Postgres, or MySQL. Blah blah blah. Yeah, am I clear? So this is a story you have to know, or Teradata. All these things you need to know. Thousands of tools are available. Okay, Sybase, clear. So any tool you can use to store the data, but how do you process the data? When you have a large amount of data, any language you can do, C or C++ or Java or Python, any language you can use to process the data. What is the processing I told you? I wanted to know what is the total sum. I wanted to know what is the average. I wanted to know total number of customers from Hyderabad, total number of customers from India. You wanted to ask and process some data. Data is available in Oracle database. Maybe in here, maybe here. You should be able to process and create a beautiful outputs, and you will be able to give it to the Amazon company or to the State Bank of India company. That is how initially people are using the data. But today the data is not there in the GBs. It is there in millions and trillions, millions, and you can say billions of data is getting generated. Let us talk about Amazon company. You go to Amazon company, you will be able to, let us say, buy some product, right? When you go to Amazon, let us say Amazon.in, if you wanted to go and buy some laptop, right? Or if you wanted to buy any product in Amazon.com, do you know where is the data it is going to be storing? Amazon's data may be stored in Oracle, or maybe an SQL server. So it may be a website created using Java or .NET or a Python language, but this is not going to be storing the data. End of the day, all the data has to be stored in SQL only. Remember this point. Whether it is Koyatra.com data, Indigo flights data, railway data, banking data, insurance data, LIC data, Walmart data, DMart data, any data, your passport, whenever you apply a passport under Indian government, the passport data, PAN card, Aadhaar card, all the data is going to be stored only in these applications. Am I clear? So, but when you have this much of a data, you assume every month 500 GB of data per month into 12 months of data I'm talking about. What is the data? It is approximately 6,000 GB data per year. Where in your uh, Amazon. So it is when you convert it will become 6 terabytes of data per year. But I wanted to store 10 years of data. It will become 60 terabytes of data I wanted to store, right? If you wanted to store terabytes of data, normal SQL or normal DBMS is not going to work. You have to use one more different softwares. This is what is called data warehouse softwares, data warehousing tools. Clear? I have so much of a data. I'm going to be storing the data in the data warehouse. But when you have less amount of data, you can write coding and you can create a lot of beautiful reports and outputs. But when you have so much of data, you should not use a languages. Here, BA tools are implemented. So people are going to be using MSBA. BA means data analytics. Data analytics is also called as a BA. So you may have Tableau, Power BI or MSBA. Lot of tools are going to be used to process the data, create a beautiful reports and everything. Clear? If you ask me what is a data warehouse, so data warehouse means in simple words what you need to do. As a layman, I will explain. So you need to buy a large hardware. First, very big computer you need to buy. Inside that you need to install SQL software only. SQL means what? You may install Oracle or SQL Server or DB2, Netezza, Teradata, any one software you need to install. This will be called as a data warehouse. Warehouse means very, very big in nature. For example, I wanted to install Oracle in my machine. What is my machine? My computer, configuration. I have 1 terabyte of hard disk, 4 GB of RAM, right? And i5 processor I have. Inside my computer, if I install SQL, so what is the SQL means anything. You can install this, you can install this, you can install. What is the maximum data I can store? Maximum 1 terabyte. That is the capacity of my hardware. Am I clear? But I wanted to store 60, 100 terabytes of data. What I do? I will buy a 100 terabyte of hard disk. I will buy 1000 GB of RAM. I will buy 100 processors of computer, not only one processor. I'm having bigger computer. Inside, I'm going to be installing SQL. I can install Oracle. I can install SQL Server here. So this is called as a data warehouse. Clear? You will be calling this as a Oracle data warehouse or SQL Server data warehouse, or you can say DB2 data warehouse. So data warehouse means it is very, very bigger. Clear? We have a storeroom, we have a warehouse. Warehouse means very, very bigger. Storeroom means very, very small. Clear? So Oracle can be installed in the smaller configuration laptops. Oracle also can be installed on the bigger size hardwares. Am I clear? So that is what you need to understand. So this can accommodate terabytes of data. Clear? So you have to know all these things. So all this data is called as a small amount of data. Today, so up to terabytes of data, the companies are treating a small amount of data. But now, what are the BA tools we can use? We can use SAP BA, lot of reports you can create, SAS BA, or you can use Power BI, or you can use a lot of MS BI, lot of tools you can use it, right? So we are not worried about it. Now, the next one is very, very important point. Now, because of internet after year 2000, after year 2000, that was a story till 2000, right? Excel is there in 1960s onwards. Excel is there 1960s and 70s onwards, it is there in the industry. SQL is invented in 1970s. 1970s. Languages are there 1950s and 60s onwards. Clear? 1950, there is A language, B language, C language is released in 1960. Right? And in 1990, if you wanted to store large amount of data, people are, invented data warehouse. So BI tools are introduced in year 2000. Okay, 98, 99 that time. But early in the 2000, BA tools are there. You can create lot of reports and everything. But after year 2000, because of internet, because hardware, computers become so cheaper. Clear? Hardware became so cheaper, and so slowly social media is entered into the industry. So after year 2000, because of internet, hardware become cheaper, social media, because of that, the data is completely big data we were able to get it. So this kind of a data they were able to handle till 1990s. They were having only terabytes of data. Because of these three things, so the data is now coming in billions and trillions of data. Clear? So large amount of data, it is a terabytes, but after that they're talking about a petabyte of data, zettabyte of data, yottabyte of data, yollabyte of data. So this is called as a all this data till terabytes. This is called as a small data only, right? But this data, trillions and billions of data, is a given special name. This is what is called as a big data, right? Small data to handle, we can use data warehousing. Not small data, at least terabytes of data you can store, right? At least 60 terabytes, 100 terabytes of data you can store. But beyond that, it is called as a big data. So big data, how do you store the big data? How do you process the store the data? So this was a story after year 2000. So uh, to handle this much of a data, micro Google company is released a big data name. So they have suggested this name, and they have submitted a paper in the to the IT journals. So if you wanted to have large amount of data, how do you store the data? How do you process the data? So based on Google's input, there is a Apache Software Foundation company. So this is not a company; it is a charitable organization. So there is a foundation called Apache Software Foundation. These fellows have taken the inputs from the Google company. And if you have a large amount of data, how do you store? How do you process it? For that, we need to have a software. So Apache Software Company released a Hadoop probably in 2005 onwards. 2003, big data concept got released into the market. I think 2006 and 7 or 8 that time. I don't remember the name, 6 or you can say 8. So that time we have a software released by the Apache Software Foundation. So foundation means it is not a commercial company. The software will be free. Hadoop software is a completely free software. Clear? When you have a large amount of data today, now you have to know where is the large amount of data the IT companies are storing. Only in the Hadoop. Hadoop is going to be having a very, very bigger service. Clear? We are going to be talking about Hadoop later. So this is the thing that you need to know. It's got released inside that, right? But Hadoop has, it can store the unlimited data. Any amount of data you give, it will be able to store and it will be able to process. Process means I told you, right? So I wanted to perform the summing operation. I wanted to perform this operation, that operation, any operation. If you wanted to store large amount of data, Hadoop software can handle it. It is given by this. But Hadoop is having a lot of issues, all right? If you wanted to store the data in Hadoop, Hadoop is storing the data. So data means it is going to be storing in a hard disk only. Disk, and for the Hadoop is going to be implementing for storing data HDFS, Hadoop Distributed File System concept. And for the process data, it is going to be using a concept called MapReduce. See, don't worry about these jargons. So you need to at least you should know some jargons. Clear? So simply, I will tell you whether it is HDFS or MapReduce, Hadoop is going to be storing the data into the hard disk of the computer. Clear? And you need to write what kind of a coding here. Now we are talking about Python, C, Java, and everything, right? But here people are using Java. Clear? So you need to know Java and you need to know SQL, and it is going to be storing the data into the hard disk. And because of that, when you have a more and more data, it is called as a big data. Hadoop is going to be using a disk. Disk means a hard disk, and Java coding you need to write to process your data and everything. Because of that, so what is the big problem? It is slow. It is slow. Clear? And the second problem is that you have to know lot of coding, lot of coding. So these are the disadvantages of the Hadoop system. Clear? I have large amount of data. On top of that, I have to know Java language to process my data. I need to learn Java as a developer. And a normal guy cannot do anything. You need to know Java. Java is more complex. SQL is fine. But with SQL, you will not be able to do everything. So these people have given them, Java, and MapReduce is completely Java based program to process the data and storing the data. They have given, Hadoop distributed file system. It is end of the day, it is going to be storing the data into the hard disk. So what is the biggest problem with the Hadoop? It is going to be storing the data into the disk. And whenever you process, for example, I will give you two numbers. I'll tell you, tell me what is the sum. I will give you 10 and 20. I will ask you what is the sum. That is a simple process. But when I give you billions of numbers and trillions of numbers, I will ask you the same sum. I will give you billions of numbers and I will tell you, tell me what is the average, what is the sum, what is the minimum, what is the maximum, what is the standard deviation, what is the average. When I ask these questions on the biggest data, Hadoop is slow. Clear? Hadoop is a software, it can store large amount of data. That is fine. But there is an issue with the Hadoop. So, and to tackle the issues, so Spark is introduced. So the Apache company, same company is introduced. So what is the second one? Apache Spark. Okay. So this is one more software to deal with the large amount of data. Clear? It is almost released in the year 2009. Clear? So it told, the company told, Apache company told. So Hadoop is very, very slow. It is storing the data into the disk, but Apache Spark is the software which is going to be storing the data into the RAM, and you need not know Java. SQL you need to know. Without SQL, data cannot be processed, right? SQL is there. We are going to be giving one more language called Scala, or easiest language everybody is using. So we are also giving you one more language called Python. Clear? So don't use the Java. Java also you can use here, but Java is very, very complex. Scala is easy, Python is easy, and SQL is easy. Because of these things, it is 100 times faster. Okay, because of storing the data into the disk, Hadoop is becomes slow, and because of this, here we are going to be using this. It is very, very faster. It is very, very faster, 100 times faster, because all the data is going to be stored where? In the Apache Spark. What is the language we're going to be using here to process the data? Process means, I told you, I have a lot of data. I wanted to know what is the sum, what is the minimum, what is the maximum. If you wanted to find out, either you can use by default SQL. Some cases we will not be able to use SQL, but don't implement complex Java. You need not write Java. Write very, very simple Scala or a Python language, so that they have given these languages. And even R also you can use statistical language. It is a fast, and when you compare with the Hadoop, it is going to be using less coding. Any people can learn this kind of a languages. They will be able to perform these kind of a things. That is what is Apache Spark got released in 2009. Clear? So using Apache Spark, there is one more guy. His name is Ali, right? So that guy, implemented what is called as a Databricks. Clear? So Databricks is introduced in 2012. So the founder is Mr. Ali. So this guy is taken Apache Spark. On top of that, you have a lot of some of issues. So in this as well for coding and running this. So what in this guy has done? He has invented a Databricks to implement. If you wanted to store large amount of data, so people are saying you have to use Databricks. Databricks underlying it is running Apache Spark only. Apache Spark underlying it is running what? Hadoop architecture only. Right? It is not 100% replaced. So Hadoop concept is implemented here, but Apache Spark is going to be using same architecture. Here and there some changes are there, and it got released in 2009 using Apache Spark framework. Databricks is being launched by one more guy. So the a guy is called Dr. Ali. Clear? So Databricks is going to be storing nothing but large amount of data. It will be able to store your data. It will be able to process your data. Clear? When you run with the Databricks internally using Apache Spark only. Apache Spark means you need to know SQL or Scala or Python or R. So we are going to be concentrating on SQL. We are going to be concentrating on Python to deal with the Databricks. Clear? So Databricks is a framework, or you can say software. So that is going to be installed to handle large amount of data. So either you can use Databricks or you can use Apache Spark. You see, Databricks internally is going to be having Apache Spark only. Apache Spark is going to be installed when you install the Databricks software. Now, Databricks means what? It can handle large amount of data. But to install Databricks software or to install Apache Spark software, you need to have a hardware and everything, right? You need to go and get some hardware, right? Without that, so you cannot install a software. So the hardware, who's going to be providing today? Somebody has to provide. Either you need to buy your own hardware and install Apache Spark and or install Databricks software there, or you can go to rental platforms. Rental platform means you can go to Azure company, you can take a lot of hardware and you can install Databricks. So it will become a Azure Databricks. So Databricks is not from Microsoft. Clear? So, or you can also install Databricks in AWS, or you can also have the Databricks in GCP. Clear? So, Azure Databricks is going to be, it needs a hardware. It needs a hardware, right? Who's going to be providing? Either you can have on premises. On premises means you can buy a lot of hardware and you can install Databricks software there. That is, nonsense and useless. I don't want to maintain that. I wanted to go to Azure company or I would like to go to any cloud company. I can go to AWS or GCP, Google Cloud Platform, or I can go to Azure. I will ask them, hey, do you have Databricks? They'll say, yes, we have Databricks. So it is called as Azure Databricks. That means what? So Azure company is going to be installing Databricks. So Databricks is not a Azure software. It is not a Microsoft software. Remember, clear? So Azure can have the Databricks software, or AWS can have the Databricks software, or GCP can have the Databricks software. So you need to have one cloud understanding. So we are going to be using what? We are going to be using here Azure platform. Clear? So Databricks means it is nothing but your Apache Spark only. Apache Spark is 100% faster and Hadoop is completely gone. So in 2012 and 2013, it has become so popular worldwide. So if you wanted to store large amount of data, today companies are using Apache Spark. That is nothing but what? Azure Databricks or AWS Databricks are going to be used to store large amount of data, to process large amount of data. I will give you a simple story and we'll stop it. Okay. So I wanted to go to supermarket and buy some vegetables. So how do I go? 1 kilometer away from my house. I will go by a bike, or I'll take a cycle and go, or I can go by a walk. So go to supermarket, buy some vegetables, because 1 kilometer away I can go easily. But I wanted to go to 500 kilometers. I wanted to go from Hyderabad to Vizag. I wanted to go to Hyderabad to Vizag 500 kilometers, 500 miles. So can I go by a bike? No, 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 no. Can I go by a walk? No, 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 no. Can I take a cycle and go? No, 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 no. So what I have to use? You have to take the train or bus. That means if the distance is more, I am changing the tool. Small amount of data, Excel I'm going to be using. Large amount of data, I'm going to be using SQL. So more distance means I'm going to be using a train or the bus. Okay, I wanted to go to Dubai. More distance. Can I use a train, car? No, 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 no. I have to go by a flight, right? I'm changing the tool. If the distance is more, I'm changing the tool. So when the small data Excel, bigger data, GBs of data, I can use SQL. If I have to go to flight, means it is a more amount of distance. So there I'm going to be using a flight, means just like a data warehouse. But I wanted to go to moon or Mars. So can I take a flight and go? No, 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 no. You have to use a rocket. So when you have a lot of distance to cover, the technology changes. Rocket you're using. Now here, big data means large amount of data I wanted to store. So I can use Hadoop. So Hadoop is gone case today. Hadoop is going to be storing the data, processing the data. Both of them it can do. But end of the day, Hadoop is very, very slow. Two reasons. It is going to be storing the data into the hard disk, and it is completely Java based application, and you need to write lot of coding. Many IT guys hate Java because lot of coding you need to write. Not everybody know Java. SQL is very, very simple. Python is simple, but Java is not simple. So that is the reason many people have given the feedback to Apache company saying that, hey, it is not very good. So you need to give us something else. And many people also complain saying that Hadoop is slow. Clear? So when you have a large amount of data, we are talking about big data. And how do you handle this kind of a data? So definitely this guy has storing data. HDFS is there, MapReduce is there. So these two components completely failed. Clear? So to overcome that, Apache company has to invent a new software, that is what is called Apache Spark. Clear? So Apache Spark is going to be storing the data where? In the RAM. You need to understand this point. Clear? It is going to be creating a columnar database. So it's going to be storing a large amount of data in the RAM. You need to have very big, RAM space in your Apache Spark computers. Clear? So large amount of data it can go. You will be able to store the data, but using Apache Spark, Databricks company has given simplified version. So Spark is good, but even more simplified version we got it today. That is what is called a Databricks. The founder is Mr. Ali. He invented this in 2013. So Databricks can be implemented in Azure, or Databricks can be implemented in AWS. Databricks can be implemented where? It can be implemented in your, any cloud platform. Clear? So Databricks is not a Microsoft software. It is a Databricks own company. It is maintaining. Mr. Ali is the founder of this company. So this is the thing that you need to know clearly. Am I clear? Okay. So so if you wanted to run the data, I need to get the data right, because I'm talking about the big data. So social media data I'm talking about, or I'm talking about any other data. If you wanted to get the data, the first problem is, where is your data? Ask anybody. Okay, I can run the data. So lot of challenges you need to know. So lot of challenges you need to know. Data challenges. Where is the data? If you ask, they'll say we have some data. You ask, let us say, Amazon company, where is your data? I wanted to process your data. Amazon company will say, I have some data in India, I have some data in US, I have some data in UK and Dubai, everywhere. So what are the environments we are using? So Amazon is saying, I'm using a Java application, .NET application, SQL application. Some places we are using Excel. Some places we are using a Python. So lot of softwares they are using to store the data. For example, if you go to Amazon.com, it may be Python application, it may be Java application. We don't know. Some data is going to be going here, and sometimes they may be using Excel sheets also. We don't know, right? So what is the size of the data? When you ask, they say we have sometimes a small amount of data, sometimes medium amount of data, and some countries where we have large amount of data. Large means petabyte, zettabyte of data. Clear? Small data, medium data, large data. What is the accuracy of the data? All the data is very, very cleaned? No. Sometimes data we have at low accuracy, sometimes it is going to be having medium accuracy, or sometimes our data is high accuracy. Accuracy means what? Very cleaned data they have it. But it is not guaranteed that always the data is cleaned. For example, you go to supermarket, you buy a vegetable. Do you think that is very cleaned vegetable, cleaned fruit? No, 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 no. You need to bring the vegetable. Again, you have to clean it, right? So data may be having a misspelled data, duplicates data, lot of blank values, lot of spelling mistakes are there. So lot of data is going to be available. All the data belong to a single company. Clear? So how do you get this kind of a data? So this is where we are going to be using. So this is where we are going to be using, getting the data from the different sources. Clear? I have some data here. This data may be available in SAP. The data coming from India. Right? So this is Amazon company data I'm talking about. I'm getting some data, let us say in Dubai. Dubai, there is a call center. All the data is available in Excel, or maybe in some other places. This is Amazon, let us say. US data may be available in Java application, right? What you need to do, you have to get this data. You have to get the data from here. You need to get the data. To bringing the data, we need to have a software. The software is called ETL software. Extracting the data, transforming the data, loading the data. Clear? So there is a software called, so earlier companies are using SSIS software. Earlier, companies are using Microsoft SSIS software, which is on-premises software. Clear? But today, the companies are using ADF software. It is a cloud-based software. Clear? ADF is a cloud-based software. SSIS is a completely Microsoft ETL software which is released in the year 2005, but ADF is released in the year of 2015. Clear? So you have to know this thing. So people were using this software earlier to get the data from here, to get the data from here. If it is a small amount of data, if it is a small amount of data, I will be able to store all the data in a data warehousing system. If it is a up to terabytes of data, up to terabytes of data, I will be able to go. I can create one data warehouse. Data warehouse means I told you large hardware you need to buy it. Inside you need to have SQL software. Clear? So large amount of data, I will be able to get it. I will be able to place it. Remember this. So you can get the data from here and you will be able to extract the data. ETL stands for what? Extracting the data, transforming the data, loading the data you can do. Clear? But when you have a large amount of data, if it is petabyte, zettabyte, yottabyte of data, we have to place that data where, so the data it can occupy only terabytes of data, right? So terabytes, that is what I told you. So, but if it is a petabyte of data, if it is a zettabyte of data, if it is a yottabyte of data, where you will store all the data, you will be able to store them. Get the data and store them in your Apache Spark, or it will be your Azure Data Bricks. Clear? When you have a large amount of data, you will not be able to store in your data warehouse. Data warehouse is fine, but when you have a large amount of data, you will be able to store because size is, it is more than terabytes. This can go up to 100 terabytes, or you can say some 50, 60 terabytes it can go, right? But data is coming bigger than this means you cannot use data warehouse. You will be able to use Azure Databricks. So your ADF will be able to get the data. Azure Data Factory is going to be getting the data from different sources, which will be able to. So this can also store the data here. It is also can work, or this can also store the data in the Databricks. Clear? So Databricks, where is it available? It is available in the Azure cloud. Clear? So why SSIS is failed? Because SSIS cannot store the data in the cloud platform. That is the reason why, even though SSIS is a ETL tool, Microsoft has to stop that because SSIS is released before cloud technology released. Clear? SSIS is completely ETL tool which can read the data from the on-premises and load the data to the on-premises. Data warehouse is on-premises. On-premises means you need to buy hardware, install SQL Server, and store the data. You maintain everything on your own. That is what is called on-premises data warehouse. Clear? But data warehouse today can also go cloud. Cloud also we can have today data warehouse. So SSIS only will work only within the on premises. So SSIS or Informatica, many people will be talking about Informatica, data stage, all of them are the ETL tools earlier. But ADF can get the data from the on premises data source. If there is a cloud data source, for example, there is a data I have in my, let us say, Azure SQL. I have some data. I'm using Azure SQL. So all this data, I wanted to bring it. Now, which technology I should use? I need to use completely ADF only, right? I wanted to store, if it is a big data, you will be able to store this here. Clear? So that is the reason we are going to be using ETL. We are going to be using ETL as a ADF today to get the data from the different sources, and we will be able to store the data here. So once the data is ready, what is that you are going to be doing on this data? You have the data here and here. So two kinds of applications we are going to be running. One is called AI application. Second one is called BI application. AI means what? Artificial intelligence is going to be working fine, and you're going to be having BI application. BI is called business intelligence. It is also called as a data analytics. Clear? Once you have the data, end of the day, we are going to be using either this, or we can use either this on this data. So end of the day, you're going to be using your data for this purpose and for this purpose. Clear? So data analytics, if you wanted to do on the bigger data, we are going to be storing the data into the Azure Databricks. Or if you wanted to perform data analytics on the data warehousing, that is also available today. So this is what is the end of the architecture you need to know. Clear? So what is a data warehouse? Data warehouse can store only structured data up to only what kind of a data it can store? Only terabytes of data. But today we are getting not only structured data, so you need to understand. So this is giving, let us say, structured data, or some other source may be giving you unstructured data or semi-structured data. So Azure cannot, Azure Databricks can handle any kind of a data. Clear? So I have structured data in the Azure SQL, but I have one more source where I'm going to be getting some data from the cloud platform only. It may be some Azure cloud is there. What kind of a data I'm going to be storing here? So maybe AWS it is some cloud, but I'm going to be storing unstructured data, semi-structured data. For example, you go to the hospital, you get a x-ray, you get a scanning document. It is not a normal structured data. Structure means the data which is there in the table means rows and columns. Clear? The data is not there in the rows and columns. Patient ID, patient name, patient date of birth, patient age. This is the row data or the column data. That kind of a data is called as a structured data. What is unstructured data? Patient X-ray, patient photos, patient scanning documents. All these are your unstructured data. Or you're doing a lot of chatting in the social media, chatting data, news, a lot of newspapers data. That is also semi-structured data, unstructured data, news items data, chatting data, your upload images, photos, audio files, video files, all the data warehousing cannot handle it. Clear? All the data warehousing cannot handle it. All the data, even your SSIS cannot take the data and dump it. So only SSIS, even though it is a ETL tool, it can get the data from the different sources. Only structured data it is going to be dealing. Clear? But if you wanted to store large amount of unstructured data, semi-structured data, structured data, all the data can be handled by the ADF, Azure Data Framework. Now, data warehouse can only store structured data, only tables data. But Databricks or the Apache Spark or Hadoop can store structured data, unstructured data, semi-structured data. So that is what you need to know clearly. So that is the reason ADF is introduced in 2015. Many people are using these kind of a tools. Clear? So what is the ADF? ADF means it is a data extracting software, data transformation software, and data loading software. I can give you simple example so that you will be able to understand. I wanted to go and get some water. So what do I do? Instead of taking the water, you will go you will buy a motor pump, right? So what if you wanted to get the water to the tank, what you do? You're going to be buying a motor pump, right? Yes or no? So these are the motor pumps. So motor pump, what it does, it's going to be taking the water. You have a tank number one or maybe well. So this is the one HP motor pump you're going to be connecting. So this will be getting the water and dumping the water into where your tank. Okay, it is Powerhouse Company, Samir Company, Lakshmi Company, Havels Company, Damar Company. All these are different. These are nothing but your ETL tools. Get the data from here, get the data from here, get the data from here, dump the data into this tank. This tank can be your data warehouse, or if you get a bigger tanker, it is what is called data bricks. So it is small tank, it capacity is let us say 1 lakh capacity. If it is having 1 million capacity means data bricks. So you need to go and put the data here. So that's what you need to understand. So this is ETL means a motor pumps. So motor pump is going to be taking the data water from one place to another place, and ETL is going to be putting the data, any data it can read, Java data, SQL data, Excel data, CSV file data, structured data, unstructured data, any data EDF can read, and EDF can put the data into the tank. So what is ETL? ETL is nothing but motor pump. Clear? So what is the Databricks? Databricks is a bigger storage area. So you can store the data. After that, what you do? You're going to be doing processing also. If you store the data, that is not sufficient, right? You need to process the data. Once you process the data, process data is going to be used by the your AI and BI applications. Clear? AI means you're going to be doing a lot of predictions on the data, and the BI means data analytics. Data analytics means understanding the past. AI means planning for the future. So, future predictions are going to be done in AI, and data analytics means understanding the past. I wanted to know what was the sales in India last 5 years. It is what is called data analytics question. So, data analytics can tell you what has happened, past data, past analysis you can do in the data analytics. What is the data science or artificial intelligence? What will be my sales in India next 5 years? You wanted to predict something. So predictions are going to be done in the AI. Clear? So AI for the predictions purpose. BI, business intelligence called as a data analytics, is for the understanding the past. Clear? So end of the day, what you do, you have to get the data, clean the data. Transformation means a cleaning. Transformation means what? Cleaning. You get the data, clean the data, you're going to be loading the data into the data warehouse systems or Spark Databricks systems. So the Databricks can store the data and it can also process the data. So from this only your AI application or BI application will work. It will take data warehousing data. AI and BI can work on this. Even Databricks, AI and BI can work on this. Your Chat GPT is AI application, right? Your Chat GPT we are using, right? AI application. It is going to be getting the data where from the some Databricks only, Azure Databricks, where the data is available. Chart GPT is getting large amount of data. It is getting images data. It is going to be getting a lot of other data. And whose the data is going to be given, maintained. This data is being maintained by the data engineering team. So get the data, clean the data, store the data, and afterwards AI team and BA team is going to be working. So all these things are going to be doing till this. You are called as a data engineer. Clear? Get the data, clean the data, and store. Transformation means clean the data because you go to the shop number one, buy some vegetables. Go to shop number two, buy more vegetables. Go to shop number three, buy more vegetables. What you do? What you do? After that, you come home, you clean the vegetables, and you're going to be keep them all in the refrigerator. This is your refrigerator. If you have a large amount of vegetables, you're going to be keeping very big refrigerator. So this is what is called your data bricks. End of the day, you're going to be getting the data, cleaning the data, buying the vegetables and fruits, clean the vegetables. Transformation means cleaning. Then you're going to be placing the fruits and vegetables into a refrigerator. If it is a big refrigerator, means you need to by a very big, cold godowns. In that, all the vegetables and fruits are going to be stored. So this is what is called data bricks. Once you store the data, now A and BA applications are going to be using this data. Your Chat GPT is a AI application which is going to be getting the data from where? Azure Data Bricks only. What is the size of the this data? It is a almost 500 petabyte or more than that, right? If it is a 500 petabyte, means it is equivalent to, if you burn the data into DVDs, so it will be equivalent to 40-50 Himalaya size. That is the data your Chat GPT is storing. Chat GPT is pointing to. Chat GPT's data is available in the Apache Spark, and that is what is called Azure Data Bricks today. What is the capacity? 30, 40, 50 Himalayas size of data. Clear. So that kind of a data, smaller company cannot maintain. Companies like Microsoft, companies like Google, companies like Meta can invest large amount of cash, and they will be able to maintain these are bigger setups using a data bricks and Apache Spark and everything. Clear. So that is what is the complete story. Clear. Why are we getting the data? Why are we storing the data? Because we wanted to use the data. Afterwards, what is the use case? Either AI or BA. So you may get the data from anywhere, right? So even the small data you have, even though you have data in Excel, or you have data in simple SQL, or you may have data in data warehousing, or you may have data in your Hadoop or Apache Spark or Databricks. What you do, all the data end of the day, you are going to be performing BI or AI. What is BI? Business intelligence, nothing but data analytics. What is AI? Artificial intelligence. It is going to be doing future predictions. It will predict the data. So these are going to be understanding the past. So these are past, these are called future requirements. Will I get a heart attack or not in next 10 years? I wanted to predict the data. What will be my sales in India? Or will I get, rains or not in Hyderabad in the next June? Clear. So all the predictions are going to be done on the AI. BI and data analytics means what? You're going to be understanding the past. So people who are kind of getting the data, cleaning the data, storing the data, all those guys are called as data engineer. So you're going to be supplying the data to the BI and AI applications. So without you, even Chat GPT is not there. Without you, nothing is going to be there. So data storing is going to be happening here. So Excel you may store, or SQL you may store, data warehousing or anything you can store, Hadoop or Spark, Databricks. So that is what a data engineer is going to be doing. This is what is the complete understanding you have to know. Did you like it? So, guys, this completes the demo number 2. Hope you are able to enjoy, right? So, what is ETL? ETL is nothing but a motor pump. It will be able to pump the data from one place to another place. Clear? In your body, ETL is there. What is ETL? Your heart. Heart is going to be pumping the blood from one place to another place, right? So, ADF is going to be your ETL. Earlier, Microsoft SSIS or Informatica people were using, all of them are on-premises tools. So those tools cannot talk to cloud. Those tools cannot dump the data to the cloud environment, because SSIS Informatica was released 15-20 years back. So that time no cloud technology. So SSIS stands for SQL Server Integration Services. So people will say, do you know SSIS? So you say, I don't know SSIS, I know ADF. But when you learn SSIS, it is nothing but your 80% ADF only, your SSIS. Clear? So many people are learning SSIS or ADF, but ADF is the modern tool, SSIS is the on-premises tool. Clear? So that is what is called ETL. Get the data, transform the data, load the data. What is ELT? ELT means when you have a large amount of data, you don't clean it. Get the data, you simply load the data first. So whenever you require, you're going to be transforming the data. That is cleaning the data. For example, you go to the farmers, you buy a lot of rice bags. You buy a lot of rice bags. What you do, you're going to be collecting rice bags and using a lorry. Lorry is a transport or is our ADF. You're collecting all the rice bags, directly you're dumping into a bigger godown. You don't clean any rice bags. You're going to go to the farmer, buy tons and tons of rice bags. Using a lorry, you're going to be collecting all the rice bags and dumping into a bigger godown. Clear? Because it is too much of a rice, you don't clean it. Later you're going to be cleaning. So that is what is called extracting the data, loading the data first. You don't clean it. Later, you're going to be cleaning it. But when you have a small amount of data, what you do? You extract the data, you clean the data, you will be able to load the data. There are two things. So when you have a small amount of data, we're going to be using ETL operations. When you have a very, very big amount of data, you will not be able to do the cleaning then and there. Right? Go get all the rice bags from different parts of India and dump it into the bigger godowns first. After that, what you do? You're going to be having a bigger labor and hiring the labor and cleaning the rice bags, and you're distributing the rice bags to the different customers. That will be the later part. Clear? So ETL means on small data, ELT means on the large amount of data. We don't clean, simply extract the data, load the data first. Later, if I need, I will be able to transform. Transform means you're going to be cleaning the data. Any questions, guys?
Sir, in the last line you have mentioned data science and
Data science and AI and ML, everything is fine, right? That's what I told you. This is what is called same. Data analytics means I told you business intelligence, right? Did you understand?
Yes, AI is also ML.
AI is also called as a data science. Okay.
Okay.
Clear?
Okay.
So this one I'll be talking about in the next class. So I think hope you got the good clarity and will continue further. So demos got over. So I'm going to be starting with the Azure Data Factory, which is a no coding software. Clear? No coding software. We're going to be starting that. Now you understood what is a data scientist, what is a data analyst, what is a data engineer. Data engineer means you have to know SQL, you have to know ETL, you have to know data warehousing, you have to know data bricks, right? And you need to know Python as well. Without SQL, you will not be able to do anything. Data analyst means you create a lot of reports on the data, right? Data scientist means on the data, you will be able to do a lot of predictions using a machine learning algorithm, deep learning algorithms, right? So ADF released in 2015. It is an Azure service. ETL, extracting the data, transforming the data, load the data. Big data requires a service that can have ETL services. ADF extract the data from the Azure. What is a data lake blob? We'll discuss later. Big data means unstructured data, semi-structured data, large amount of data. So SSIS is going to be failing for this big data. Easy when compared with SSIS. Right? So disadvantage of SSIS is cannot load semi-structured data, unstructured data, not suitable for the cloud platform, not suitable for the big data environments, limited data sources, and it is on-premises solution. It is released in 2005. ADF released in 2015. Clear? So history of the cloud. Amazon launched in 2006. Google 2008 it got launched, and Microsoft launched in February 1st, 2010. So first position Amazon is there, second position Microsoft Azure is there, third position Google GCP is there. So in the next class, I'll show you how to create one Azure account in portal.azure.com. So it has 200 plus services or applications are available. So we'll discuss all of them one by one later. Okay. So this completes the demo, guys. And we'll talk about what is infrastructure service PaaS as later. So this completes your demo. Hope you have enjoyed it. Clear? If you wanted to get into data engineering means SQL you need to know, Python you need to know, data warehousing you need to know. Synapses is not mandatory, but we're giving it for free. You can just think about it. And Azure Databricks means Apache Spark and Scala we are learning. So instead of Scala language, we're learning Python language. So these are the things that you need to learn. So the payment details and everything will be able to send after the demo by my team. And so when is the next class? So once the payments are received, we are going to be creating a batch, and the batch schedules will be will be announced very soon. Clear? So from Monday, I think the batch will not be there immediately. So if the batch is framed by Monday, means Monday we can start. The payment links and everything will be given by today. You can make some installments and you will be able to continue. And if the batch is framed, means we can start from Monday. If not, 1 or 2 days here and there, we will be able to start the classes. In the first class, I'll be talking about how to create a Azure Data Factory, the registration to Azure portal.azure.com. Then I'll show you how to open Azure framework and what are the services you have. Everything we will be able to discuss in the next class. Clear? Any other questions you have? Hope you have enjoyed it.
So may I know the what is the fee structure and what are the
Fee
installments?
structure and everything, you can contact these numbers, so they will be able to help you, because I don't have the discount fees and everything. So if you don't know SQL, you need to buy SQL and start, because without SQL, learning data factory is useless, right? So Python, you can take it later when the data brick starts, but you need to at least buy SQL first and start with the SQL and Azure Data Factory first. Okay. If you make for the entire combo offer, and the combo means everything will be available in the discounted price. But if you take one by one, it will be costing you more. The costs and everything, you can just call the my team. The numbers are given here, right? So this is the number you can just call. So 90000. So they will be able to tell you the fee structure and everything. So when is the next batch? Also, they will be able to tell you, because Monday, if the batch is ready, then we can start from the Monday. Same time. Time will not change. Only meeting ID will change. This meeting ID will not work. Okay. So people who made the payment, they will be able to get the new meeting ID and call these numbers. And not only that number, any number you can call and continue further. Thank you, guys. Any other questions?